Royalty, royalty. I was a joke, you know. Wow, mercy and pain. No, I want to believe it. Looking for, trying to believe on the fishes, awesome shit. Promising his own show. Royalty, all down on the tongue.
Keep this vibe just inspiring man over to you.
Oh God,
Just vibe on that for a minute. Do you really know who you are? That's that. Oh, you know your name. Never risking your life over real.
I got my friends to tell you the truth. Mercy change. First, show from power to the
Looking at y'all in the comments, I love y'all. Father on behalf of the Father. We're talking about the language of the remnant. Hip hop, urban, Christianity, in the urban. They hear how I talk and think they understand what it is. The tone and miss the message. Messages, but behind this is never been about rather not to speak the language of the institution. Yeah, the real question before all of us is why the institution won't learn the language of the people it says is serving. If we look at scripture, prophets weren't there to keep institutions comfortable, there to keep them accountable. Things drift. Prophets speak up. Prophets speak up for people who don't have a voice. Politicians speak down for people who already got the power. It's not the same thing. The prophetic voice has always sounded disruptive because it's not here to protect the systems, it's here to protect the people. The gospel doesn't change, but the way we communicate it does. Jesus didn't wait for the fishermen to become scholars before he spoke to them. Met them where they were. Paul said, or rather became all things to all people. Every generation has to translate truth into its own language. That's not compromise, covenantal clarity. So if this generation speaks through hip hop, social media, urban culture, then ministry that refuses to understand that point shouldn't be surprised when young people tune out. Empty seats doesn't mean that truth failed. It means that somebody failed in communicating it. Hip hop isn't just music, it's how an entire generation tells a story, carries pain, joy, warning, humor, struggle, survival, all that wrapped up. Just like the prophets in the Bible, it uses metaphor, exaggeration, rhythm, and bold language to call shit out. So it doesn't really make sense to read the Bible symbolically, then take every urban expression literally. If you don't understand the culture, you won't understand the message. For too long, black folk, we're taught, we had this sound like their power, use their language before we could be taken seriously. Scripture says we're kings and priests. Kings don't ask for permission to exist. Priests don't lose themselves trying to serve. We're not called to copy the language of the people who tried to control us. We're called to speak truth in a way that wakes up the people we're assigned to. It's not about sounding like the master. It's about reaching the remnant. You know, hindsight 2020, youth ministry really isn't a stepping stone to covenantal calling. It's walking with a generation for life. You grow with them. You stand with them through loss, through celebration. You end up guiding them. Look around, you guide their children. You get used by God to turn history into hope. Nobody beats it, you know. Nobody beats it. Nobody beats the bridge. But that's what you become in essence. You become the bridge between where we've been and where we're going. Because if the next generation can't understand faith, then we didn't preserve it. We lost it. Moses saw the promise. Joshua stepped into it. I'm just saying, same promise, different leader, different approach. Every generation has to receive truth in a way they can understand. If not, what was once alive turns into something people just look at instead of living out. If the church, the black church, really wants to reach young people, it has to care as much about understanding them as it does about attempting to protect its tradition. It has to ask why so many of them feel unheard. It has to learn before it judges. It has to raise leaders who can take timeless truth and make it real and relevant for today. Ministry isn't measured by how comfortable it makes the institution. It's measured by how well it reaches people who aren't there yet. Church doesn't need fewer prophetic voices. That's not the problem. It needs more leaders who can speak truth in a way that keeps both the message and the people intact.